What if I told you that every breath you take is casting a vote to the universe, that the way you inhale and exhale right now, unconsciously, might be the very reason abundance keeps slipping through your fingers? Most people think it's their budget, their job, or their mindset keeping them broke, but the truth lies deeper. Beneath the affirmations, beneath the hustle, there's a rhythm, a frequency, a silent broadcast being sent out 20,000 times a day. Your breath. You see, your breath is more than air. It's a frequency transmission, an energetic code that tells the quantum field what you believe you deserve. And if you've been breathing like someone in survival mode, someone bracing for the next hit, someone barely holding on, then that's exactly what the universe keeps reflecting back to you. Not out of cruelty, but out of coherence. In this video, we're going to reveal how breath becomes your greatest manifester, or your most overlooked block. You'll uncover how chronic stress patterns in your breathing trap you in scarcity timelines, and how repatterning your breath can unlock a field of wealth you were biologically wired to repel. We're bridging ancient breathwork with modern quantum science, and showing you how to shift your entire financial reality, not by earning more, but by breathing differently. This isn't about theory, it's about transformation. Because once you realize that every breath is a conversation with the cosmos, you'll never breathe the same way again. Most people never stop to question the most constant act of their existence, breathing. Yet every breath you take is more than just a physiological reflex. It's a vibrational message sent to the quantum field. Breath is frequency, and frequency is the language of the universe. So if your breath is shallow, erratic, or trapped in a pattern of stress, then the energetic message you're transmitting is one of lack, fear, and contraction. In this loop, your breath encodes your deepest unconscious beliefs, including those about money. The subconscious mind, which governs over 90% of your behavior, responds to your internal state more than your conscious affirmations. If you say, "I am abundant," but breathe like you're under threat, the universe doesn't hear your words. It feels your frequency. Your breath reveals your emotional baseline. Are you breathing like someone safe, sovereign, and abundant, or like someone just trying to survive? This unconscious coding is what keeps many people energetically aligned with scarcity, even when they're doing all the right things externally. There is a hidden loop here. Belief informs breath, and breath reinforces belief. When you were younger, if you learned to associate money with stress, unworthiness, or chaos, your body would encode those emotions into your breath. Now, decades later, that breath pattern continues to replay the original emotional memory, keeping the loop alive. The nervous system doesn't forget, but it can be retuned, and breath is the tuner. Ancient yogic and hermetic teachings understood this deeply. The breath was never just about oxygen. It was a bridge between dimensions, the physical and the energetic, the conscious and the subconscious. In that space between inhale and exhale lies the still point, the place of pure potential. Modern neuroscience is now catching up, showing us how breath regulates brainwave states, vagus nerve tone, and emotional coherence, all key to our wealth magnetism. To awaken from this loop, one must become aware of the breath. Observation without judgment begins to break the spell. It's not about breathing right all the time. It's about noticing what your breath is saying, because when you become conscious of your breath, you reclaim the power to rewrite the script your body has been unconsciously sending to the universe for years. When the body is in survival mode, everything constricts. Not just your muscles or thoughts, but your breath too. The chest tightens, the inhale shortens, and the exhale becomes rushed or incomplete. This is the breath of someone trying to outrun a threat, not the breath of a sovereign creator. Most people live their entire lives breathing this way, unknowingly sending a constant signal to the universe. I'm not safe. I can't receive. I must protect what little I have. This is how survival breath becomes a spell of scarcity. Survival breath is usually fast, shallow, and chest-centered. It's a breath rooted in the sympathetic nervous system, the fight, flight, or freeze state. When this becomes habitual, the body forgets how to rest, how to open, how to receive. You can't attract wealth in this state, not because you're undeserving, but because your frequency is incoherent with abundance. The universe is listening to your energy, not your effort. And when your breath is tuned to lack, it mirrors that back to you. In contrast, the breath of abundance is slow, full, and rhythmic. It moves down into the belly, activating the parasympathetic nervous system, the state of rest, repair, and receiving. This is the breath of trust, of surrender, of openness. It's the breath of someone who knows that life is not a battlefield but a playground of potential. This state naturally aligns your body, mind, and energy field with higher frequency opportunities, insights, and synchronicities. Greg Braden speaks of heart-brain coherence, a physiological state in which the heart, brain, and breath come into harmony. This coherence is not only emotionally balancing, but also magnetically powerful. Breath is the gateway into that state. By shifting the rhythm of your breath, you shift the rhythm of your reality. You move from chasing life to inviting life in. You stop begging for abundance and start breathing as if it's already yours. It's not enough to think abundant thoughts if you're breathing in scarcity patterns. You must embody wealth through the way you breathe. Because wealth is not just something you pursue, it's something you become. And breath is the first physical expression of that becoming. Your nervous system is not just a biological network, it's a vibrational memory field. It holds on to every moment you felt unsafe, every time you were told money was hard to earn, every instance you equated success with sacrifice. These impressions aren't just stored in the mind, they live in the body. And the nervous system, acting like a frequency filter, begins to normalize the vibration of scarcity. This is why even when money flows in, it often vanishes. The body isn't yet calibrated to keep it. The connection between the nervous system and wealth is subtle but profound. When your system is dysregulated, constantly oscillating between anxiety, fear, or hypervigilance, you cannot truly receive. In a state of hyperarousal, the brain becomes reactive, tunnel-visioned, and focused on immediate survival. There's no spaciousness for vision, creativity, or abundance. The body tightens, the breath shortens, and the universe interprets this as, now is not a time to send blessings, they aren't safe to receive them yet. Bruce Lipton teaches that our biology is shaped not by our genes, but by our environment, and more precisely, by how our subconscious interprets that environment. If your nervous system is locked in old trauma patterns around worth, money, or failure, your biology responds accordingly. This doesn't just affect your emotions, it alters your posture, your breath, your energy field. You begin to vibrate scarcity without ever speaking a word. Healing this requires more than mindset. It requires energetic reprogramming. Breath is one of the most direct portals into the nervous system. Through conscious breath practices, you can override conditioned fear states and teach the body a new truth, that it is safe to relax, safe to receive, safe to be wealthy. As the body begins to feel differently, it begins to attract differently. The nervous system is like an antenna. It either tunes into the frequency of fear or the frequency of flow. When you regulate your system, you widen your channel to abundance. Your aura expands, your thoughts become clearer, your magnetism sharpens. The universe responds to that. Not your words, but your vibration. And the first step to recalibrating that vibration is bringing your nervous system into safety, one conscious breath at a time. Shallow breathing is more than a bad habit. It's an energetic signature of survival consciousness. It sends a continual message to your body, your subconscious mind, and the quantum field. I'm not safe. I must brace myself. I must conserve. Over time, this shallow breath becomes a baseline frequency, like background static that quietly blocks the signal of abundance. And most people don't even know they're doing it. It's unconscious, automatic, inherited even. What's critical to understand is that chronic shallow breath doesn't just reflect fear, it maintains it. Shallow breaths restrict oxygen flow to the lower parts of the lungs, where the parasympathetic nerves live, the ones that regulate rest, digestion, and receptivity. This reinforces a loop of energetic tension, physiological stress, and vibrational incoherence. You become a magnet for struggle, not because you deserve it, but because your breath keeps anchoring you there. From a quantum perspective, your breath is your broadcast. The universe responds to patterns, not moments. If your breath is consistently short, tight, and high in the chest, the pattern is scarcity. Even if you journal abundance affirmations every morning, the breath, the signal, contradicts the affirmation. You can't affirm your way out of a frequency your body is locked into. The yogic traditions knew this thousands of years ago. Pranayama wasn't just about calming the mind, it was about mastering the life force. When you control your breath, you control your prana, your chi, your electromagnetic field. And when your electromagnetic field changes, the experiences that match your new frequency begin to appear, not by chance, but by correspondence, a hermetic law. It starts with awareness. Place a hand on your belly. Breathe. Does your belly move, or is your chest doing all the work? Are your inhales strained or spacious? By becoming conscious of your shallow breath, you begin to dislodge the energetic anchor that's held you in scarcity. You begin to choose safety, and safety is the soil from which wealth consciousness can finally grow. Quantum physics has revealed a truth ancient mystics always knew, that observation collapses potential into form. In other words, the act of attention shapes reality. This is known as the observer effect. But what if your breath is also a form of observation? What if how you breathe doesn't just reflect your inner state, but also determines the version of reality that solidifies around you? Every breath you take carries awareness. A breath in fear tunes your consciousness to timelines where danger, loss, and lack are dominant. A breath in calm trust aligns you with realities where support, opportunity, and wealth naturally flow. The breath is not neutral, it is directional. It is the bridge between the observer and the observed, the transmitter of your inner state into the quantum field. This is why when someone is in panic, nothing flows, inspiration vanishes, synchronicities dry up, and opportunities seem to hide. Not because the world changed, but because the version of reality their frequency now observes is different. Their breath tuned the dial to scarcity. This is the subtle magic of the breath. It tells the universe what kind of world you're ready to see. Nassim Haramein speaks of the vacuum as a field of infinite energy and potential. This field responds not to action alone, but to resonance. Your breath sets your resonance. It's like casting your vote to the quantum field every few seconds. This is who I am. This is what I expect. This is what I believe is real. Most people cast their vote unconsciously, through tension, rush, and shallow inhales. But you can change your vote in an instant, simply by changing the breath. When your breath becomes intentional, it becomes a sacred act. Each inhale becomes a declaration. I choose this timeline. I choose this reality. And with every slow, conscious exhale, you release all that no longer matches who you're becoming. This is how breath shifts the quantum, not metaphorically, but literally. You are the observer. Breath is your lens, and reality is waiting for your next breath to decide what it should become. In the realm of abundance, coherence is key. Not hustle, not grind, coherence. And that coherence begins with the heart and the breath. When your heart and brain are in sync, your entire energy field shifts. Your intuition sharpens, your emotions stabilize, and your frequency becomes magnetically aligned with what you desire. Breath is the switch that turns this coherence on or keeps it off. Greg Braden calls heart-brain coherence a state of biological harmony where the rhythms of your heart, brain waves, and breath align into a single unified field. This isn't just a nice feeling. It's a measurable state of high performance and energetic magnetism. When you breathe slowly and rhythmically, especially into the heart space, you activate this coherence. You signal to the universe, I am aligned, I am ready to receive. But most people live in a state of inner chaos, thoughts racing, hearts tense, breath shallow and unpredictable. This creates static in the energy field, and static repels clarity, insight, and wealth. Incoherence scrambles your signal. The universe doesn't reject you, it simply can't read you. You're not denied abundance because you're unworthy. You're out of range. By focusing your breath into your heart, you begin to bridge the two centers of power, intuition and intellect. The heart becomes the command center, and the mind follows. You drop from thinking into knowing, from scarcity into sufficiency, and this changes everything. It shifts the kind of thoughts you attract, the choices you make, and the version of reality that responds to you. Neville Goddard once said, "Feeling is the secret." Heart-based breathing is how you get there. It's not about forcing belief. It's about embodying the frequency of already having. In that state, your body becomes the proof, even before the money arrives. And that is when the universe responds, not out of mercy, but out of magnetic law. Your breath, your heart, your mind, coherent, whole, ready. Breathwork isn't just a wellness trend. It's an ancient technology, a sacred code that has been hidden in plain sight. Across cultures and millennia, masters of inner power knew this truth. The breath can alter consciousness, rewire the subconscious, and unlock dormant abilities. Today, we rediscover this not just as a healing tool, but as a gateway to wealth consciousness, the energetic blueprint where abundance is no longer a pursuit, but a natural state. Through breathwork, you can dissolve the emotional residue of scarcity. Every memory of not having enough, every trauma around money, every limiting belief encoded in your cells, all can be accessed and transmuted through the breath. Because when you change the breath, you change the chemistry, you override the patterns, you step out of old neural grooves and into new vibrational frequencies. The breath becomes the elevator out of the basement of survival and into the penthouse of receiving. This is why breathwork often leads to visions, insights, even spontaneous emotional releases. You're not just moving air, you're moving energy. And energy is what creates matter. In the quantum field, the breath becomes a sculptor, shaping timelines. It allows you to bypass the analytical mind and speak directly to the subconscious, the realm where your wealth story is truly written. Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches that in elevated states, such as those accessed through deep breathwork, the body no longer believes it is in the past. It aligns with a new future. The brain waves shift. The hormones of stress are replaced by the chemistry of expansion. In that moment, you are no longer the person who was broke, scared, or stuck. You are the version of you who already is, wealthy, free, and powerful. Whether it's a 3-minute coherence practice or a full breathwork session, the key is consistency. With each breath, you are either deepening the groove of lack or carving a new path toward wealth. Make your breath your daily ritual, your invisible prayer, your frequency reset. Because when the breath becomes conscious, reality follows suit. In wealth, in wisdom, in wonder. Breath is not just something you control, It's something you can reprogram, like a software update for your nervous system. Breath repatterning changes the very signal you send to the universe. When you consciously shift the rhythm, depth, and presence of your breathing, you're not just calming down, you're recalibrating your electromagnetic field to align with abundance, confidence, and receptivity. This repatterning begins with awareness. Start by noticing your default breath in different moments of the day. Are you holding your breath when you open your bank account? Is your breath shallow when you talk about your dreams? These are clues. They're showing you where the energy of fear is still speaking through your physiology. And once you're aware, you're no longer unconscious, you're at choice. The practice is simple, yet powerful. Inhale slowly through the nose for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6 to 8 counts. Repeat. This elongates the exhale, signals safety to the body, and creates spaciousness in the mind. Over time, this becomes your new default, a breath of expansion, not contraction. You are no longer reacting to scarcity, you're vibrating beyond it. But breath repatterning goes beyond technique. It's about intention. Each inhale becomes an invitation. I breathe in abundance, clarity, and trust. Each exhale becomes a release. I let go of fear, tension, and lack. You are teaching your body to feel safe in wealth. And when the body feels safe in a new state, it begins to expect it. That expectation becomes belief. That belief becomes vibration. That vibration becomes reality. You are not broken. You were just breathing the wrong story. And the beauty of breath is, it's always available, always willing to change with you. Repattern your breath and you repattern your destiny. Because wealth isn't just about what you earn, it's about what you embody. And breath is the most powerful embodiment tool you've ever had. Wealth isn't something you chase, it's something you breathe into being. Every inhale is a declaration of what you're willing to receive. Every exhale, a surrender of who you're ready to stop being. If your breath has been echoing fear, tension, or limitation, then let this be your reset, right here, right now, not through effort, but through presence. You are not meant to live braced against life. You are meant to expand into it, to soften, to receive, to trust that the universe isn't withholding anything. It's simply matching your frequency. And that frequency is encoded in your breath. So the next time you find yourself anxious, rushing, doubting, pause, come home to your breath. Breathe as someone who knows they are already supported. Breathe as someone who knows wealth is not earned by force, but attracted by frequency. You are the signal. You are the magnet. You are the breath. If this message awakened something deep within you, let it ripple. Like this video. Subscribe to the Cosmic Awakening channel. Share it with someone who's ready to remember their power, because this isn't just information, it's activation, and your next breath might just be the one that changes everything.